I was watching the Women's March after Trump's inauguration. And what's going on with Ashley Judd?
I am a nasty woman. I'm not as nasty as a man who looks like he bathes in Cheeto dust. I'm not as nasty as using little girls like Pokemon before their bodies have even developed. I am not as nasty as your own daughter being your favorite sex symbol. Why is the work of a black woman and a Hispanic woman worth only 63 and 54 cents of a white man's privileged daughter? This is not a feminist myth. I'm nasty. Like my blood stains on my bed sheets, we don't actually choose if and when to have our periods. Believe me, if we could, some of us would. It may sound petty, bringing up a few extra cents. It adds up to the pile of change I have yet to see in my country. I can't see. My eyes are too busy praying to my feet, hoping you don't mistake eye contact for wanting physical contact. Half my life.
I love Ashley Judd. I've always thought she was so beautiful, so sexy. And for some reason, I always thought she was more of a Republican. I didn't realize she was so far into the left. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe because she's got sisters that sing folk music, sounds a little bit country, and she's married to a race car driver. I don't even know what kind of a race car driver this dude is, or if she's still married to him. But my dumbass, I guess I was making stereotypes and assuming that she's Republican because she's into racing and folk music, country singing. Yeah, I know. Stereotyping. It pisses off the right when you stereotype. The party that's all about stereotyping gets pissed off when you stereotype them. Right. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. My assumption was that she's married to a race car driver. I don't even know if it's NASCAR, because if it's NASCAR, then, I guess I thought that she was a Republican. I mean, let's be honest. You're not going to see too many people on the left at a NASCAR race, just like you're not going to see too many. I mean, you're not going to see too many Democrats at a NASCAR race, just like you're not going to see too many Republicans at a Hamilton play. You're not going to see a lot of red hats with Make America Great Again watching Hamilton. That's just the way it is. People are attracted to different things on different parties. This is off to a nice start, just stereotyping the shit out of everybody. But her speech, man, was she on fucking meth? Did she do a couple of fucking key bumps before she got on the stage? She fucking snuck up on fucking, what's his name? Michael Moore. I didn't watch his speech. It seemed too boring and whatever. But Ashley's, man, I thought it was hilarious. It was awesome. I don't know what she was doing up there. It's, what is that? Is that spoken word poetry with some rhyming? I didn't get it. Some of it I had no idea what she was talking about. Some of it I did agree with. I get what she was trying to get at, but I don't know. I think you need a better message if you want to deliver that message to the masses. I think it needs to be more clear, because I was confused at some of the stuff that she was talking about. I guess the people there knew. They were all cheering. I'm guessing they knew what she was talking all of the time about all of the time. I wasn't. I was just laughing most of the time. I was like, holy shit, she's got to be on pills or something. She is fucking shot out of a cannon. So much energy. I wish I could do that right here, have that kind of energy. But I overall, I thought it was funny. I do agree with most of what she says, but there's too much what do they call, identity politics on the left, and then she ends the speech with throwing out Hillary's name out there, and I think that doesn't help the left. I think people were turned off by Hillary, and to keep supporting her is only gonna alienate people and not want to support the left, even if you do side with the left. I'm not an American, but I I've never sided with the right. I just don't think that's a party that I would ever side with. They're too much into God, too much into fucking shoving God down your throat. It's always like, God bless you, we did this for God, and God this, God that. They're fucking anti-abortion. They're very anti-science. They're anti-gay, I guess. They hate gay marriage. Any party that sides with any of those things, I'm just not interested in being involved. So if anything, if I could vote and if I was American, I would probably side more with the left. Call me whatever you want. That's the way I see it. I like science. I like learning. I like understanding how things work. I don't like people just telling me, oh no, that's how it is because God made it that way. Not interested in that crap. I'm not interested in discriminating against people. I'm not interested in fucking hating on gays and women or whatever. You know, the right has a lot of things that I'm not happy with, and definitely that religious part really bothers me. I'm not a Trump supporter. I think the guy is a fucking snake oil salesman, and you're a rube for believing anything that what he said. Now I realize most politicians lie, most. And he's no different, and that's the only argument I can make. He's no different, and I think you're kind of gullible to think that somehow he's telling you the truth and he's gonna make America great again or your life better. I don't think anything's gonna change. If anything, things are gonna get worse, and the only person that will benefit in the end will be him. Now, I don't like him for that because he's a liar, but he's a pathological liar, and he has human qualities that I don't like in a person. I would not be friends with anyone that has his human qualities, which is lying, not ever taking responsibility for anything that he does. It's always somebody else's fault. Just not having any self-awareness. Just look at his physical appearance. The dude has zero self-awareness with his overweight, his fat, or tanning too much with that ridiculous hair. And it just shows how little self-awareness he has if he rolls around life looking like that. And, you could say I look disgusting, but that's fine. I don't have billions of dollars like he does. I got to walk around with this horrible presentation. He doesn't. He's a billionaire. He can get better clothes. He can get a personal trainer, eat healthier, maybe get a better toupee or get a hairstylist that can do something with that mop that he's got on top of his head. Maybe he can get somebody to tell him, look, tone it down on the fucking tanning, buddy. You're looking a little bit too ridiculous, too orange. He's got money. He can do something to have a better presentation. I'm not on TV like he is. I am disgusting. That's fine. But he's on TV. He's hosting game shows and all of that. He's on TV all the time. He can afford to look better, but he has no self-awareness and thinks that the way he looks is fine. I think he looks ridiculous. And another thing I don't like about his personality is that this guy will never admit to failure, to being wrong, or to ever losing. No matter what he does, no matter how much he loses, no matter how wrong he is, he's always right. It's always the best, and he's always a winner. I think if you've ever met anyone like that in real life, I think most people are annoyed by people with those qualities. But I do like that all these people got together. However, the identity politics really kind of turns me off, and I think it turns off a lot of people, especially when you see a Muslim woman out there. Nothing against Muslims. I don't like to discriminate against people because of their religions. I don't like to discriminate, period. But I don't care what you practice, what you want to believe in. I never want to tell you what you can and cannot believe in. I don't ever want to get rid of any religions or take the right away from you from practicing whatever you want. Having said that, I don't really respect any religion, to be honest. And there was a woman up there who I've never heard of. Her name was Linda Sarsour, and apparently this woman supports Sharia law, which seems kind of curious to me why feminists, who a lot of the women that were there consider and straight up call themselves feminists, I would support a woman that supports Sharia law, or would let a woman speak at a rally like that for women, uh, a woman that supports Sharia law, considering that it's my understanding that Sharia law oppresses women a lot. It it's almost like a very, very how do I say it? It's a horrible interpretation of Islam. When I hear the things about Sharia law, it doesn't seem like there's. It really makes Islam sound worse than it already is, because to me, all religions are bad, and they can sound worse whenever you get a radical person speaking on behalf of that religion. So I don't know. That was kind of. I thought that was curious. Like I don't know why women would support a girl that supports Sharia law. You would think women would fight against that sort of belief, that sort of mindset. Anyone who thinks Sharia law is a good thing. There was another woman that got up there. She's a black Muslim lady. That's what she called herself, by the way, black Muslim. Who's talking about how Islam is not radical. I disagree. I think all religions can be radicalized. All religions can be radical or lead to radical views. It just so happens that at this moment in time, radical groups like ISIS call themselves Muslim, and I think they've been radicalized because of that religion to some degree. I'm sure Islam is not the only thing that radicalized them, but Islam has a lot to do with it, and Christianity can do that too. All religions can radicalize people, and you can even say that something like Fox News and a show like Alex Jones has radicalized people, like these people that, like that dude that went on a shooting spree and into a black church and killed I don't know how many people. I think shows like Fox News and Alex Jones plant a seed of hate in the minds of people, and that seed can grow and it can end up radicalizing people the way Islam can end up radicalizing certain people. Now, of course, most people that watch Fox News are not violent, and just like I don't believe that most people that are religious or Muslim are violent, but I've always had an issue with religion. I think it can end up radicalizing people. Yeah, but overall, I do like the idea of letting Trump know that there's this many people that are not happy with him and that will fight him on everything he does. But the identity politics, I think that's not helpful. It seems like there's a lot of men hating. I think later, the next day, or I'm not sure when, Ashley Judd went and did a TED talk, and a lot of gamers got mad at her because she went on this fucking stupid idea that people like Anita Sarkeesian, if you don't know who that is, just Google her, Anita Sarkeesian, and you can see the arguments that she makes about video games. And Ashley Judd kept repeating those arguments, which are just stupid. Something about video games where they promote violence on women and they maim them, and she made it sound like there are games that exist only for the purpose of hurting women, when that's not the case.
And more love for my friends in tech. Profiteering off misogyny in video games must end. I'm so tired of hearing you talk to me at cocktail parties, like you did a couple weeks ago in Aspen, about how deplorable #Gamergate was, when you're still making billions of dollars off games that maim and dump women for sport. Basta, as the Italians would say. Enough.
Every game where you're able to hurt or beat up or kill women, you're also able to do it to men. And most players end up doing it to men more than women. There is no game that promotes violence on women. In fact, there are about 10 years ago or more, there's a game called Manhunt, which in that game, you literally got points and you were rewarded for hurting men, not women. Actually, that game was actually very violent and it got banned in some countries. But there is in fact a game, at least one that I can think of, where the objective is to hurt and kill men and you're rewarded for it. Now in the game it justifies it, I guess, because from what I remember, the people that you go after are criminals. I think the game takes place in a jail, in some kind of a prison. It might have been a small town, I can't remember. I think it was a prison. But anyway, so there is that game where men or players are encouraged to hurt men, but there is no game that encourages players to hurt women. And I think that really pisses people off, why they go after gamers, when I think there are bigger fish, bigger issues to deal with, like Saudi Arabia being buddy with the US. Just look up at all the horrible things that Saudi Arabia does to women, and how these women in this country are not even allowed to drive or walk around wearing whatever they want. If you don't believe me, look it up, Google it, you'll find out for yourself. But I don't think it helps to go after men the way they do at these rallies where there's a lot of women, a lot of feminists. I think that identity politics could end up hurting them in the long run. It turns people off. It turns me off, to be honest. And it could lead to another 4 years of Trump. And if you really want to fight Trump on this, start talking about more important issues, and I think be more inclusive and stop fucking hating on men so much. I don't think it helps the cause.